on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 4 p.m.
Total maintenance keeps you cool.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with LeafGuard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install LeafGuard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you. It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Johnson back at you. The weather's starting to break in the right direction. I should shut up after yesterday. I say, boy, about 3 o'clock, 3:30 was the last glimpse of outside I got as I was getting the 4 o'clock show going yesterday, and I was like, perfect amount of rain. Hope it doesn't pick up because it's keeping the dust down at Jazz Fest and it's watering the golf course for Zurich Classic. Problem is, as I'm saying that, Mother Nature just turned the spigot on full blast. Like 7.5 inches falling in 4 hours in the 9th Ward. 7.5 inches in 4 hours. San Diego gets about 10, 12 inches of rain a year. So in 4 hours in the 9th Ward yesterday, they got January through like August for San Diego. January through September for San Diego in 4 hours. That's how much rain came down. The West Bank, Jefferson Parish when outside of the Sewage and Water Board's territory floods, it's too much rain coming down for the pumps to keep up anywhere. Anyway, yeah, a lot of rain yesterday, and sadly, flood waters from the street flowing into people's cars, flowing into people's homes in some cases, and flowing into people's businesses in some cases. You know what's amazing to me? Two things. This governor and this legislative session, nothing about coastal erosion or Louisiana losing its coast or, America's wetlands fading away. Nothing. And no one on this city council, no one in this mayor's administration, they should be talking about the coast as well, since New Orleans is the population center, but really a bigger issue. But the fact that retention ponds and water features on neutral grounds, there's no sense of urgency to do any of this. It is mind-blowing. This is the most ridiculous rinse and repeat in the history of mankind. And finally, sadly, in almost a bad way, folks in Metairie and the West Bank and parts outside of Orleans Parish are going, wow, we're flooding when there's a major rain event. Can't just say old Sewage and Water Board, a New Orleans problem. They're more than us, but we're flooding too. No, folks are just going to start flocking out of the West Bank, flocking out of Jefferson Parish when this crap keeps up year in, year out. Unless we start working with water, abandon some areas of Metro New Orleans that are too far below sea level, that need to become like an area for parks and playgrounds and ballparks, and an area that can flood like they do in Europe, like they do in Holland, Amsterdam, the Netherlands. That country, they have areas that are set up. It's like, boy, what a beautiful park with this permeated concrete. They have basketball courts, soccer fields, all this stuff. And then they show a big rain come and there's 8 feet of water in that big bowl that is a park 99% of the time. No, we desperately need retention ponds and water features all over this city. When the city of New Orleans is saying you can park on the neutral ground, my mind implodes. Oh, the neutral ground, the area where there's zero financial investment by mankind. The men and women that make up New Orleans, black, white, Republican, Democrat, whatever. The people that make up New Orleans, we have no financial investment in the neutral ground. And that's the high ground? The neutral ground should be the low ground. Every neutral ground that, is available, look no further than like Claiborne Avenue or Elysian Fields. It should be a huge retention pond, a long linear water feature with benches and park-like setting with all kind of trees and pampas grass for filtering out rainwater into that water feature. Walking past, jogging past benches, lit up at night, something that attracts people to the neutral ground where no one goes right now. That's just secondary. That's an incidental. The main thing, so water flows into there, not into the houses, the neighborhoods. The old sewage and water board system, the one we have right now, that one would stick around. It would be for pumping water out of streets. But we'd have a new system, new pipes, new pumps, new system set up, pumping water out of a system of retention ponds and water features. So you'd be, and even if that was hooked to the old system, we wouldn't be draining streets and all of that because they wouldn't be filling with water. When we knew a big storm would be coming, we would lower the water level of these retention ponds, these water features. When the water comes, it starts flowing into there, and immediately we're pumping it out. And we know the law, it's kind of, we know the deal. It's like common New Orleans knowledge. If you're a native, the sewage and water board pumps can pump 1 inch of 1 inch of water the first hour, and a half inch of water every hour after that. So after 3 hours, you'd have 2 inches pumped out. Inch the first hour, half inch the second hour, half inch the third hour. 3 hours, 2 inches. Fourth hour, 2.5 inches. Fifth hour, 3 inches. Half inch after that. But you'd be draining retention ponds that were already lowered. Nice golf courses have this. They have the expensive stuff like, I'll use it as an example. The greens, the tee boxes, the fairways, that's where we live. That's where the businesses, the neighborhoods, the roads, the infrastructure is. Then they've got water features. And when they know a big rain event's coming in, they pump down those water features. And then when the rain comes and hits the greens, the fairways, and the tee boxes, gravity naturally pulls it down, and these water features full up, and they start the pumps up, and they're constantly draining the water features as water flows off. We have none of that. We have no working with water, no retention ponds, no water features practically anywhere. They're building one at Mirabeau Gardens in the old nuns' home on Mirabeau right off St. Bernard Avenue. They're building one there. By Suno in the Pontchartrain Park neighborhood, right on the Joe Bartholomew golf course. There's a linear retention pond. Ask the folks that live off of Press Drive out there in Pontchartrain Park how cool they think that is, how nice they think that is. It's just beautiful. No water flowing off the golf course into the street. If there's a lot of water, water in the street flows into these linear retention ponds. They're in between the street and the golf course. And they're beautiful, full of cypress trees and pampas grass. Great example. It's funny on, what street is it? I think it's Franklin. I guess it would be in between. No, it'd be Fillmore. Excuse me, Fillmore. In between, like, what is that? Mirabeau and like St. Anthony, I guess. There's like right off that street, like a block off that street. I guess it's on Mirabeau, and I forget the side street, right off St. Anthony. There was like a blighted house on the corner, and I guess the city bought it somehow, and they tore the house down, and on that single corner lot, there's this little retention pond and park. It's got a couple of little benches. This is a lot where one house sat, and now it's got like kind of like a ditch in the ground that's mostly dry. It's about the size of maybe 2 or 3 swimming pools in the average backyard, say 3 swimming pools. And the rest is higher ground that sort of flows into that lower area. And it's like a little mini retention pond. And I guarantee you, when a lot of water is hitting that area, it fills up probably pretty nicely. No, just mind-blowing how we're going to keep doing this in New Orleans, Jefferson Parish, the metro area. Man, if too much rain comes and we just can't keep up, cars, houses, and businesses will flood. That's unacceptable to me. Unacceptable. Has to be some once every decade, once every 25-year type of historic rain event for that to happen. I'm not saying 7.5 inches in 4 hours isn't a sicko rain event. It is. But if the 9th Ward where it happened yesterday was full of retention ponds and linear water features. A lot of that water would have flowed in there, and maybe there would have been some street flooding, but not cars and homes and businesses. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Boy, the weather's clearing. Why don't you dine outside tonight at Katie's in Mid-City? As New Orleans as it gets. Iberville, Corner Telemachus. Miss Peaches just gave me a thumbs up. That's how I read it. She's going to Katie's maybe tonight for dinner in Mid-City, dining outside, enjoying our weather before the summer comes. Tonight for dinner, make it Katie's in Mid-City. So good.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Welcome back. Tuesday afternoon in New Orleans. Big week. Got Jazz Fest cranking up Thursday morning. Got the Zurich Classic Round 1, the annual PGA Tour stop cranking up Thursday morning. NFL Draft, Saints selecting number 9 Thursday night. A lot going on. Got a good one lined up for you on this Tuesday afternoon. Let's go to Baton Rouge, the Louisiana Department of Insurance. Their commissioner, Tim Temple, joins us live on the program. Tim, a pleasure.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing well. Thanks so much for joining us. How you doing up there in BR?
Well, it is storming here in Baton Rouge, but that's how it is this time of year.
Uh-oh, because it's nice here right now, and if it's storming in Baton Rouge, that means we're getting that in a few hours. Most likely. Hey, Tim, the legislative session is going on. Is it sunny in Baton Rouge and you were making a joke about the legislative session that it's stormy at the Capitol and it's clear and nice in BR, or is the weather actually bad? Which one is it?
Well, let's say it's both. The weather is bad and it is stormy at the Capitol. Look, I think that, last week when the governor said that there are dark clouds over Louisiana and he was referring to the insurance crisis, that is right. I mean, we are, we're all experiencing, we have been for the last several years, an insurance crisis, which has put a dark cloud over our own family budgets and business budgets as well. And I think that's why it's imperative that we all, roll up our sleeves, sit down and work together to bring solutions to the citizens and businesses of Louisiana.
There's obviously cause and effect, Tim. There's chicken and egg. Which came first? I found it interesting and sort of sad and pathetic when the governor compared injury attorneys, basically advertising injury attorneys, with the insurance companies like they're equal and opposites. I found that kind of beyond incorrect.
Yeah, look, I mean, and I'll say this: I do feel that there's shared blame for sure on both sides. I mean, a lot of times people will say, and I've heard it, I had to hire an attorney because my insurance company didn't, do something right or whatever. And look, I'll acknowledge that does happen from time to time, but it doesn't happen every single time. And it's certainly not a reason whenever you have an insurance claim to think that you have to hire an attorney first and foremost. It is a right. You can do that. And I just finished doing an interview with somebody just before I got on this radio program. And one of the things that I was telling them is that, anytime you call your insurance company and report a claim, they start to handle it. An adjuster is contacted and it's sent out and they start to adjust your claim. But when you call an attorney, it's no longer an insurance claim. It's a litigated claim as far as the insurance company is concerned, and they have to treat it as such. They can't adjust your claim anymore. They have to litigate. It's a litigated file. So we need to think about that and having the ability to do that and exercising that ability as often as we do in this state creates more cost, and we all pay for that freedom to exercise that cost as often as we do.
Boy, I thought it was amazing, the statistic about car accidents. In Louisiana per capita, we get in the same amount of wrecks as everywhere else. Obviously, the damage of the vehicles, the same as everywhere else, yet we have 2 times the claims as everywhere else. Either we're very fragile Louisianians, there's something in the water that makes us like glass and we break easily, or there is an egregious, obnoxious, over-the-top amount of radio, television, billboard advertising from injury attorneys, which you made a great point, makes you think you need a lawyer to file the claim, but, I've often said just gives people an incentive to claim an injury when maybe the injury isn't as bad, they're exaggerating, they're embellishing, even outright lying. It's a problem, Tim.
It is, and let me tell you that some stats we've been looking at, and it's the number of bodily injuries claimed in 2021, that's the most recent year that we were looking at. Louisiana, in 2021, we had 66,000 bodily injury claims that year. Okay, that may sound like a lot. It may not sound like a lot, but let's start putting it in context. And in 2020, the census, I think, had us pegged at right around 4.5 million residents in the state of Louisiana.
Yep, that's right.
Our friends just a little further to the east in Alabama, population 5 million people, so 500,000 people more than we do. They had 34,000 bodily injury claims filed. Okay, so now let's jump to New York, because that one stands out. I was trying to find a state that looked a little different as far as the number of claims. 19 million people in New York, 5 times the population. They had 60,000 bodily injury claims, 6,000 less than we do in Louisiana. You want to look over to Mississippi, they had 17,000 bodily injury claims. So we've got a problem in this state. And we claim bodily injury, like you said, high frequency of bodily injury claims. And when you do that, costs go up. And when costs go up, premiums go up.
Yeah, I'm not trying to defend the insurance companies, but it's capitalism. And that's why a lot of companies leave the state. They're like, it's not worth dealing with all this crap. And then some are like, we're just going to jack up the rates so we will make a profit in this, Louisiana. It's all about like some actuary just coming up with the figures, right? It is actuarial based, and we're having conversations on whether or not, actuarially justified rates should be used or not. We're having a big battle over that, but we also have a reputation in this state. I mean, I'm talking about with companies, around the country and around the world. And, it's not a good reputation, and it's one that we all pay for. No, we all pay for. Tim Temple's with us, Louisiana Department of Insurance, the commissioner. Tim, what about 20 bills in Baton Rouge that you say could lower our insurance rates? 20 of them, many geared towards advertising attorneys and capping the settlement amount they can get, how much they can win in court. This was tried just last session or 2 sessions ago. Trying to think of the bill. Was it 423, House Bill 423, that the governor vetoed it? Yeah, look, and I want to go over a bunch of the bills that we're looking at. You're right, there's about 20 bills. But one thing I want to be extremely clear when we talk about, these bills are designed to bring the cost of the claim down. And it's important to make that distinguishment, because I hear it a lot of times. Everybody goes to the Capitol and promises lower rates. That's not what I am. You're not going to hear me promise that. What I'm promising is that to focus on bills that will lower the cost of the claim. And when the claims come down, the premiums will come down. Premiums follow losses. When losses go down, premiums go down. When losses go up, premiums go up. And so we've got about 20 bills that we're focused on helping to bend the cost of the claim downward so that we can start to get back to affordable insurance again. And we've got a medical transparency bill. That's the one that it's referred to as collateral source. It was vetoed last year. We have a Housley presumption, which is kind of makes a whole lot of sense. And it says that if you claim an injury from an auto accident, you should have to prove that injury was caused by the auto accident. Believe it or not, in Louisiana right now, you don't have to do that. It's just presumed that the injury was caused by the accident. Wow. We've got a no pay, no play, so that if you're driving around uninsured and getting a wreck, you can't recover, you shouldn't be able to recover a certain amount of money because you aren't following the law like everybody else is. We're looking at some damage caps so that you can't just get these sky high nuclear verdicts, $5, $10, $20 million. We're trying to put some caps on that. We're looking at trying to think of what else we've got. I couldn't believe I felt horrible for this guy, this oil worker at a plant in Lake Charles. The pipe hits him on the head. He's paralyzed, like chest down, I feel horrible for this guy. This guy needs to be compensated. This guy needs to be taken care of with his ailments, someone to care for him. His family needs to be compensated monetarily, the money he would get if he worked the rest of his life. I'm thinking tens of millions of dollars. I think Louisiana awarded this guy like $411 million, Tim. I'm just like, I'm all for this guy getting compensated. $500 million nearly, one individual. That's crazy.
Well, and I think that's just it. And we're starting to see more and more of those type of verdicts in our state. And when those start to happen more and more like that, it normalizes it for a lot of people. It makes people believe that's maybe I should get that too, or somebody I know should get that too. And you're right. Look, it's extremely difficult to put a price tag on a life or a lifetime disability or something like that. But there's got to be a point where to have the ability to award those types of judgments. Again, if we want to live in a state that allows that, then we have to be prepared to pay the price to support those types of verdicts.
Hey, Tim, can I knock out a quick break, come right back and hit you up with a few more questions? Fantastic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tim Temple's with us, Commissioner, Louisiana Department of Insurance. Corey Johnson with you all the way till 6 o'clock. Hey, Latrum's been with you since J.M. LaPere invented the shrimp peeling machine in the late 40s. That led to the all-plastic modular conveyor belt. Latrum, a culture of innovation, worldwide leaders, born, bred, based right here in New Orleans, and they're hiring. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrum.com. Latrum.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarque Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrum family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrum company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrum.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. let us steer you right.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Not a politician or part of a political machine. Corey Johnson.
I propose that I use what's left of the town treasury to move to a more prosperous town and run for mayor.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Tim Temple's with us, insurance commissioner for the state. Hey, Tim, have you spoken with other insurance commissioners around the South, around the region, and how do they handle these, or how does their state, I should say, handle these advertising injury attorneys? Do they have some kind of, I don't know, they need a choke chain on some of these guys? It's over the top.
Well, look, the one thing that the Department of Insurance in this state or any other state does not have any, regulatory oversight over the advertising attorneys. But I can certainly say that when I go to national conferences, when I go to meet with other insurance commissioners, that is it's always noted how many we have and how rich and powerful they are in this state. They've made a lot of money doing what the law allows. We need to make sure and clarify that point. But
no doubt.
Look, other states have taken measures over the last several years. Florida has done it. Georgia just recently did some legal reform in their state this past session. I think their governor signed a bill just the last day or two. South Carolina's trying to do some right now. Arkansas, Oklahoma, a lot of the states are tackling legal reform and trying to, again, this is about making it fair and talking truly about people being able to seek legal justice.
Yep.
And we've got to get back to that in our state.
What a great way to put it. Yeah, where the lawyer can advertise just telling you what he does, not I'll get you a check and get you this and all that. Just the money thing, I think, should be something that isn't allowed. Now, we're often talking, I've even heard you say, like the injury attorneys, or the trial attorneys, you'll say. I say the advertising injury attorneys, because aren't a lot of these claims that never go to court, Tim? And that's a big, the insurance companies are still paying, and it never sees a judge or jury. Sometimes they're paying more than they want to, and they feel like they're in a corner. Sometimes they're like, it's quicker to settle for 10, 12, 20 grand because our legal fees are going to exceed that. So what about the where it doesn't go to trial and it's just the injury attorney, the advertising television attorney dealing one-on-one with the insurance company?
Yeah, and I think, look, and I'll tell you one thing I've learned, since being in this office, I've never had never paid that much attention to various types of attorneys out there. And I know I've unintentionally offended people out there by maybe referring to, a trial attorney or something like that. I think plaintiff attorney are the ones that, because look, there are people that certainly need an attorney to go to trial and represent them. And I'm not trying to disparage on any one group, but I think that we have a proliferation of folks that just go and sign up people, and they never have intent of going to trial. And if you look at and I don't have a lot of insight to it, but just the number of trials that I'm told that actually make it to court is it's like a 3-digit number. It's not thousands and thousands, it's hundreds. So
exactly.
We do have a problem in the state, and we've got to fix that. And part of that is, like we talked about, changing the laws so that people that truly are seeking justice, that they're trying to get, taken care of because they weren't handled. Their claim was not handled properly.
Yep.
They had to seek, legal representation. That's what we want to get back to, and helping those people. Not, everybody knows somebody, and a lot of times it may have happened to them where they were literally in not even a fender bender. The fender didn't even get bent; it got scratched. Or bumped, and their insurance company has to pay tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars on claims that never should have gotten there. So we've got to fix that. And look, one of the things I keep saying is that if we're okay with the system we have, if we want to have that ability and exercise that right to just go, sue somebody because they backed into us, in a parking lot, or their foot slipped off a brake and bumped us at a stop sign. If we think that that's okay, then that's fine. Then we need to have that collective conversation and just understand that we're going to continue to pay for that through our high auto premiums.
It really puts the truly injured person that, first off, the insurance company, they're going to haggle because they think a lot of Louisiana claims are BS. Second, the legitimate person has so much, to go through, Tim, to get the legitimate claim that they deserve, because the insurance companies are wary that the people are full of what. So these people that are taking advantage of the system are hurting the legitimate people that are truly injured. That's the worst part about the whole thing, besides the expensive rates.
And we fund it.
Yep.
We fund it.
Yep. Hey, speaking of trial lawyers, I'll say this. The oil and gas industry to insurance. Louisiana is a state, the politicians tend to side with trial lawyers time and time again. Do you agree with that?
Well, look, I know there's the litigation going through the court system with the parishes and the legacy lawsuits, and that's not been on my radar. I am, and I see as much news as there is about that as anybody, I guess. But look, at the end of the day, what's dragging our economy down and or holding our economy back is just the excessive litigation we've got on the day-to-day, just businesses trying to get out there, make a dollar, pay their employees, and keep a little bit for themselves so they can expand their business. And unfortunately, it's all going right now to excessive, more insurance premiums than we want to pay.
Hey, Tim, around the South, your counterparts, they have a little more stroke as far as kind of controlling the insurance rates in their states. Is that accurate? And is that something that your office lacks and that you would like to have?
Well, look, I certainly disagree with that statement, and the way that that's been framed last week with legislation. There's a House Bill 576 by Representative Robbie Carter, who is a trial attorney. That's the bill that the governor is supporting, and effectively they want me to be the rating, set the rates in Louisiana for insurance companies. And there, I don't know of any other state where the commissioner has that power.
Gotcha.
One, that's heavy-handed over-regulation, government price setting. It's not free market. It's not capitalism. It's not American. And other states have mechanisms set up. We're just like 29 other states in the country as far as our rating structure is set up. And I don't think we want to go that route and infuse politics. And I'll tell you, we don't have an authority problem in our state. I don't have the authority problem at the Department of Insurance. What we have, it's a math problem.
Gotcha.
It's a math problem. Insurance claims cost more in our state than other states. Therefore, premiums have to cost more. We can't just tell companies they have to magically lower rates because we think that they're too high. Look, I know rates are high. I know they're unaffordable. But just telling an insurance company to lower them because people can't afford the rate will not work. Those companies will leave the state because if they're going to follow that model, they're going to go out of business.
So there's nothing your office needs as far as more power or authority.
Look, I think the thing that we need is to work with the legislature, work with the governor on bills that are going to truly start to reduce claim costs. And once those start to come down, insurance premiums will follow.
Hey, what about like homeowners, flood insurance, and those skyrocketing rates? It's a little different, isn't it?
We passed some very meaningful, substantial property reform last year. It is working. I know people don't feel it. I'm sure some people don't see it, but there are people that are seeing their rates come down. We had 8 companies that have filed for rate decreases for 2025. That means that when those people with those companies renew their homeowners, they should see their rates start to come down, at least moderate to the point where they're not going up like they are too. Or if you change your insurance company mid-year, if you start shopping around with these companies, rates are going to start coming down on property. It's not happening fast as anybody wants, but it is happening, and it's working. It's one of those things where patience is one of those things. I wish I had a lot more patience. But it is working. It's going to continue to work.
What was the problem, and what did the legislation do to fix the problem?
Well, we had several bills. One, we had in Louisiana, and this is a controversial bill, but it was the 3-year rule. And we were the only state in America that said that once somebody had renewed your property 3 years in a row, that they have to continue to do business with you. Again, we were the only state in America that did that, the only jurisdiction on the planet. And insurance companies they said, wait a second, Texas doesn't make me do that. Mississippi doesn't. Wow. No other state does. So why do I want to go do business in your state?
Wow.
We modified that, and we're actually still promulgating the rules on that. So it hasn't even gone into effect yet. We changed the way the rating structure. It used to be prior approval. Now it's file and use. We still check the rates. We still verify that they're actuarially justified on both scenarios. But now insurance companies can do, it's a little bit of speed to market on that. We modified the bad faith legislation. It's called fair claims practice in Louisiana. We had 2 statutes that conflicted with each other, and it created an easy opportunity, a low threshold to file litigation asserting bad faith. That drove up the price of homeowners claims after hurricanes. We fixed that. So we've passed, and those are just 3 of several bills that are helping shape the insurance industry in the state so that companies want to come back and do business. We have 10 companies that have filed the appropriate forms to be able to come back and start writing homeowners in our state. I suspect they're going to be doing that.
Yeah, more competition, lower rates.
That's it. That's what we want.
Tim Temple, an absolute pleasure. I really appreciate the time this afternoon. Let's do it again.
Look forward. Thank you for the opportunity. Look forward to coming back on your program again soon.
Thank you. That's Tim Temple, Louisiana's insurance commissioner. Corey Johnson with you. Coming right back. Don't move.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Total Maintenance keeps you. TM-JC.com. Your cool smile. TM-JC.com. Your cool smile.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Uptown, Carrollton, Riverbend, Holly Grove, Gerttown, Gentilly, Lakefront, West Bank, Lakeview. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
I swear, when I hear those neighborhoods getting rattled off, sometimes I'm like, it's like a frame, like a slideshow going through my head of like things in those neighborhoods. And then just now it's like restaurants and food in those neighborhoods. Like, yummy. Oh, yeah. I like that place. Oh, that's good. Yummy. Yeah. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. If you just missed the last 30 minutes of the program, you missed Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple joining us from Baton Rouge. Louisiana Department of Insurance, Tim Temple with us. Really straightforward, great information, kind of telling it like it is. No politics, no funny games, none of that. No, it's really good stuff. Tim Temple, by the way, you want to hear that? A little after 6 o'clock, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Just go to our YouTube channel. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything, but you can pull up that interview and check it out in its entirety. I'll probably repost the whole thing on my Twitter at Corey Johnson sometime after 6 o'clock. But that was pretty good stuff with Tim Temple. What some crazy stats, huh? Louisiana, 66,000 claims. New York State, 60,000 bodily injury claims. This was in 2021. 66,000 in Louisiana. We've got about 4.5 million people. New York State has like 21 million people. Like 21 million, 22 million people. We had 66,000 bodily injury claims. New York State had 60,000. No, we are a litigious state. I thought it was a great point. I've often said these billboards and TV and radio ads of these advertising injury attorneys that are merely insurance company facilitators. They never go to trial. It causes people to sue. It encourages people to sue. It makes people that think they have a little molehill, they turn the injury into a mountain. A lot of lying, exaggerating, embellishing going on. Tim Temple made a great point. These ads, these billboards, these TV and radio ads, they make you think you need to hire an attorney to make your insurance claim, that you can't do it on your own. I've never hired an attorney to make an insurance claim. I'm like everybody else. I've had auto insurance claims. I've had homeowner insurance claims from hurricanes, roof getting ripped off the house, flood claims when 2 feet of water flowed through my house, the whole deal. I'm like everybody else. I've never hired an attorney to facilitate these claims. Did it strictly on my own. Strictly on my own. Sometimes, I mean, it was like I was expecting $4,000 and I got $6,000. I mean, it worked the opposite way. Got more than I thought. Sometimes that happens. I'm not saying it happens often or all the time. It's the low percentage, but it happens. It happened to me. So the TV ads not only encourage you to sue because they're in your face. Man, my friend sued. So-and-so said, man, look at that. He got $450,000. No, the ads also make you think you need an attorney to make an insurance claim. It's twofold. I didn't even think about that angle. Tim Temple's so right. No, it's sick. It's sick. I'm beelining on the I-10 going around the curve by Chef Highway. There's that Womack, got a guy. Now that's respect. That's what the sign says. Now that's respect. What the hell does it have to do with respect? The guy's smiling. He looks fine. Womack got me $540,000. So either the full claim was $540,000, and if that's the case, Womack got, I don't know, I'm trying to figure a third of $540,000. What's that? Like 200 something thousand bucks? Or maybe the $540,000 is what he got. So Womack got like $400,000. I mean, who knows? But it's an insane amount of money. When the client's getting 6 or 7 figures, so is the attorney a lot of the time. These attorneys make 35, 40%. It's at 40% now of the claim. 40%. You get $1, you walk with 60 cents. Now, sadly, I guarantee you there's got to be a huge percentage of people that hired these joker attorneys, and after they took their cut, you made less money than if you would have handled the claim yourself. No, it's pathetic. Finally, there's some justice in the world. It's not just a behind-the-scenes wink, wink. It is being publicly stated. And beyond me, like talk radio, television, it's like commissioner of insurance for the state. Lots of well-respected people, including legislators. Even the governor himself, sick of seeing Morris Bart and the lizard, Like, hey, at least he's got the lawyer part right. Acting like insurance companies and these advertising injury attorneys are on equal footing is insane. They're not equal at all. They're not equal at all. No, it is a major problem in Louisiana. And these over the top, I mean, look at Morris Bart. I have $1 billion in claims that I've got for my clients. $1 billion. That means he's pulled in $400 million himself. It's obnoxious. All of these attorneys, at the very least, these television advertising attorneys that are year in, year out advertising, they are rich to wealthy. They are rich to wealthy, all off of our backs. A few pennies, a few dollars every single day from each and every one of us. It's friggin' obnoxious. It's got to stop. People that are legitimately injured, how would you like to be legitimately injured? It would suck. First off, being injured. Second, the hurdles and crap you got to go through because the insurance company's dealing with so many people who are full of crap. 66,000 body injury claims in Louisiana, 60,000 in New York State. They have 7 times our population. What's that, Blue Boy? Your neck and back hurt and you feel a little dizzy. You want to call an injury attorney. A kibble. fell out of your bowl. You were chewing on some kibble. A kibble flew up in the air and landed on your back and injured your back. You're making a joke. It's a pretty good joke, Blue Boy. Sadly, pretty accurate. A food kibble hurt my back.
You're
right
on
back.
the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Thank you, number 9, Mr. Drew Brees. Corey Johnson back at you. Five o'clock power on a Tuesday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. If you missed the last hour, Tim Temple joined us, Insurance Commissioner, State of Louisiana. You can check that out a little after 6 via our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Pretty interesting stuff with Department of Insurance, the Commissioner, Tim Temple. Hey, this 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning on a Tuesday afternoon. Tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best? Young'sDryCleaning.com. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery. Manless locker locations all over the metro. Young'sDryCleaning.com. 5 o'clock powwow on this Tuesday brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning. Young'sDryCleaning.com. 70s to mid-80s all week long. 70s to mid-80s all week long, and maybe some rain again later today, possibly some rain tomorrow. We had Tim Temple on last hour. As I said, the insurance commissioner, he said it was storming in Baton Rouge. So maybe some rain, maybe not, coming into New Orleans, and maybe a little tomorrow. But Thursday through Sunday looks pretty damn good. 70s when we wake up. Yesterday, it looked like high 70s with a high. Now we're dipping into the low to mid 80s. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Jazz Fest Weekend 1, Zurich Classic. 70s when you wake up. By 11 noon, it's going to be 80, and it's going to be 80s all day long. Low to mid 80s. So it could be a little hot out there. Put on the sunblock, wear the big floppy hat. I play golf, and I would wear one of those sombrero hats that you put on a table and put beer and food inside of it. It's so big. I'd wear one of those on the golf course. Or the, Gone with the Wind, Scarlett's hat. I'd wear that on the golf course. Because you get skin cancer taken off your face, right by my lip, up by my eyebrow, and it's crazy. It's like a pencil point size cancer, like a dot. They take out about an eraser head size because it's like a cavity. They got to clear the margins. And then here's the worst part. You're taking out this big circle. You can't stitch up a circle, Miss Peaches. So you got to pinch those ends. You got to triangulate the outside. It's like, say you have a basketball. you got to make a point to the top of the basketball, and then you got to put a point on the bottom. That way you can stitch it up. A round thing you stitch is going to pinch. So you have to go. So the dot becomes an eraser head, then becomes these two triangles on either side so you can stitch it. So it ends up being that one speck ends up being almost an inch of stitches, almost a scar of about almost an inch, about, I'd say 3/4 of an inch for a dot. So think if the dot's like mole size or, fingernail size, you're going to have a big chunk taken out of you. No, it's scary. It sucks. So, yeah, I put on block and I wear Scarlett's hat or the big sombrero thing that you put on a table that's 5 feet by 5 feet. Because I don't care what I look like when I'm out in the sun. I want protection. So slap on the block, wear the big floppy hat. Might be a little warm out there at Jazz Fest and, at Jazz Fest and Zurich Classic. Hey, tomorrow, Ghassan Corban's going to join us. Ghassan Corban, President, Director of the New Orleans Sewage and Water Board, for another couple of weeks. He leaves like May 1st, early May. He's done, retiring. We'll visit with him. Street flooding yesterday. 9th Ward saw 7.5 inches of raindrop in 4 hours. 2 main pumps went offline, a power failure. We'll talk to Ghassan Corban. I can tell you what I'm going to tell that guy when I talk to him. I can tell you exactly what I'll say. You can hear it right now, and you can hear it tomorrow when I say adios to him. I'm going to miss him. He was legit running the Sewage and Water Board. He took it to another level. He started the modernization of the plant. An outsider that wasn't politically connected. No politics with this guy. He built the power plant that's coming online this summer. He built the 2 water towers to keep the pressure up. He's now taken over cleaning 72,000 catch basins. He implemented the smart meters. He's actually got a team of executives that know what they're doing. They're not political hacks stealing brass. No, he's somebody who's been in the business for decades. He's the real deal. I think he's going to be sorely missed. One of the very few things you can count him like on one hand that LaToya the Destroyer, Junket Cantrell did that was worthwhile, that was a good thing. Bringing in outside people, not appointed, anointed hacks. Mitch Landrieu compared to LaToya Cantrell, it's night and day, a much better mayor. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you Mitch Landrieu was a great mayor for New Orleans, was great. Because the needle would have been moved in a major way. But he got the airport built, And he did things that weren't setting up friends and family all the time. Wasn't taking junkets all the time. Wasn't pulling up to a restaurant. He'd pull up a restaurant by himself or with his wife or whatever, or friends, not police and SUVs and wasting all this taxpayer money. No, so LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell, one of the few things she did right. Mitch Landrieu, he put that appointed, anointed hack, Cedric Grant, to run the Sewage and Water Board, who has no expertise in that at all. It's like John Alario appointing his son to like 4 or 5 different boards. I mean, if you look up the John Alario's son and the boards he's been appointed to, where he makes 6 figures working these different boards and commissions in Louisiana, none of them have anything to do with the other. He is not an expert on any of them. None of them. I guarantee you this. I will wager any amount of money. You could get John Alario's son and pull up those 4 or 5 boards or commissions that he was on. And I know more about at least one of the 5, at least, than he does. And he was on the friggin' board. I can answer more questions. I know more about it. I'm more in depth. I know the history. I know more. And I don't even know what they are. I just promise you, I know more than John Alario's kid. I know more about the Sewage and Water Board. I would let Cedric Grant pick the person to come up with the test questions about the Sewage and Water Board, and I would score a higher grade on my knowledge doing this show, learning about the Sewage and Water Board, than Cedric Grant, who ran the friggin' facility. I guarantee you. He has no clue. No clue. An appointed, anointed hack, a joker. No, give LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell credit when it's due, like 5 times maybe. Count it on one hand, 1 foot with my toes. Ghassan Korban was one of those good moves. He has modernized a totally dysfunctional, broken sewage and water board that now is at least on solid footing and can move forward. A lot of progress with that guy. He was a good, honest man, is a good, honest man. I have no connection to him. Not tight with him. We're not pals or buddies. We don't go out. We're not friends. No, hey, what's going on, dude? Yeah, I want to talk to you, man. My neighbor said, how should I handle that? You know, I just look at him and respect him, and he's got a resume, and it's legit. Cedric Grant's got a blank piece of paper. No, the anointed, appointed hacks. Just that Hilario mentality. It's just a nightmare. The Edwin Edwards, Bill Jefferson mentality. That's what cripples us. That kind of crap. And worse, people embracing it, living vicariously through these jokers. I mentioned it yesterday, all that rain. My Audubon Gutters kick button took names. In October, I got Audubon Gutters to install new gutters on my house, and they've got the Leaf Guard system. I'll never have to pay someone to get on a ladder and clean my gutters ever again. The Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company. They don't paint, they don't do roofs, no siding, no windows. All they do are gutters. Do like me. If you're in Metro New Orleans, home or business, you need gutters, a true no-brainer. AudubonGutters.com. AudubonGutters.com. For almost 35 years, New Orleans' own Audubon Gutters. AudubonGutters.com. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Producing tomorrow's talk radio today, Corey Johnson.
This is tomorrow's newspaper. Precisely. I already went further ahead into time to see what else happens.
Your View Louisiana. That's Cox Channel 4 in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Lafayette. And live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
Future. Unbelievable.
Miss Peaches, I asked it last week, but then I held back. I said, I'm going to wait until Jazz Fest to ask it. Jazz Fest week. Jazz Fest cranking up Thursday. 1 year, Jazz Fest had 3 weekends scheduled. When was that? Give me the answer, Jazz Fest aficionados. 766-9480. 3 weekends scheduled at Jazz Fest. I got a second question for you, Jazz Festival aficionados. How did those 3 weekends of Jazz Fest go? How did they pull it off? Can you believe that? One Jazz Fest had 3 weekends scheduled. When was it? And a second question, how did they pull it off? Smooth sailing? 766-9480 is the phone number. If you got the answer to either one of those questions, I've got 50 big bucks for you. 50 bucks good at the Woodhouse Day Spa, the city's premier day spa experience. There are 5 locations, 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore, and in Baton Rouge. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Miss Peach is manning the phone lines. I would think there's some Jazz Fest aficionado. Miss Peaches, I was with a buddy last week. He's like, man, Jazz Fest. He's rubbing his hands. I'm like, you going? He goes, of course. And I go, how many days? He goes, every day. And I said, that's what I said. Oh, my goodness. I go, when do you get there? He goes, 11 a.m., 10:45. And I go, you stay through till 7? He goes, every day. It's like, wow. Now, there are some folks, Miss Peaches, that this guy is legit. He has a love for music. He's a musician. He loves New Orleans culture. He loves New Orleans food. He loves it. There's no forcing him or I want to be somewhere else. He wants to be there. I think there's a bunch of folks, especially like, 30, 40, 50 plus, that they got to keep it up. They tell their friends, and Miss Peaches is known. She goes every day. She gets there at 10:45. She stays till 7:30 every day. She's done that for the last 27 years. And I think there's like a pressure to keep it up, to tell your friends, like, I'm the ultimate jazz. Y'all all like Jazz Fest. I'm the ultimate Jazz Fest. I'll give them the crown if they want it. I just like going to Jazz Fest. I don't have to be the number one Jazz Fester or the last. I just like going when I go. And when I don't go, I don't miss it.
I just feel like we've finally outgrown the fairgrounds. That's my only feeling. I know it will never not be at the fairgrounds.
That's been a talk for like 20 years.
But and I've seen the progression. Like, I remember going to the Jazz Fest 20 years ago and it being crowded. Like, one of the largest ones was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
But
they're not letting in 100,000 people.
All I know is every Jazz Fest since in the last few years has been that crowded. Like, it's
they're not those crazy. The numbers that we used to experience, like the 90, 100,000 days. I don't think they let that many folks in anymore. I mean,
yeah.
But you're right. I mean, especially by the big stages for the big shows, like after 3 o'clock,
I saw Elton John at Jazz Fest.
Had to be wall to wall.
And it was literally, I was on the next
track.
stage. No, I was on the next stage.
No,
watching him.
I've been like that too. No, it's crazy. But then there are other parts where it's, elbow room. But back what you're talking about 20 years ago, it was crazy. They'd be like 90,000 plus. Now I think they're pulling like 50, 60, 70,000 people days. But here's the thing, Miss Peaches. If you moved it, you'd have more people even going. Like, I know what you're saying, you might have more elbow room, but you'd have even more people going. And I don't know. I guess it's like radio. You increase the rate when you have more advertisers because you have less advertising space. So you increase the rate. I guess the fairgrounds just increases the ticket price. In theory, they could go to a bigger place and lower the ticket price and still generate the same amount of money. I don't know. Yeah, 20 years ago, I was like, this is getting cramped. And then they got pretty creative, going into the fairgrounds building, going out by the paddock, setting up tents like on the concrete outside of the quote track. Started doing that about 20, 25 years ago, and they've added more spots. Trying to think that footprint's only so big. I mean, I don't know where you could go. It's pretty. Yeah, I guess you could put a stage on the track or something in one part, but then how do you get around? You need the track. Yeah. It's.
I don't know.
You'd have to set up some just bad boy parade ground somewhere. And then you could bury power lines and all that kind of stuff. And stages would be like on a concrete platform. They'd be easier to set up. Maybe even permanent structures like, like a jazz festival grounds that had like 6 stages on a concrete block with a roof over them and power and water and everything right there. No, I mean, I guess that would be ideal. And then it would probably be like Genericville, USA or something like out in the farmland. But no, your point's been mentioned, Miss Peaches.
Or just move it to City Park right there, right next door.
Well, I remember, when I was doing a show 20, 25 years ago, there's talk of like a NASCAR track coming to Louisiana. I had Bumpy Wheeler on from NASCAR, all these folks, big wigs. And, basically, they were talking, indirectly politics. They were saying, it rains too much. I'm like, y'all are in Orlando. You're in Birmingham. It rains the same amount. Soil's too soft, won't hold the track. I'm like, baloney, It was just all politics and stuff. But what were we talking about? Yeah. I was thinking like, if you had that 1.5 mile oval, like the fairgrounds is less than a mile. So a 1.5 mile oval, boy, the infield is tremendously large. But then, who wants to go to New Orleans East for Jazz Fest? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the Superdome. It's centrally low. I'm not dogging the East. But who wants to go? It's like no one wants to go away to go to somewhere. When you have all the infrastructure and being in Gentilly and it's in the center of the city, everyone comes from around. So no, you're right. I'm not arguing with you. I mean, 20 years ago, people were like, man, it's getting stuffy in here. We could use more room. But I thought the NASCAR infield would be great. And then, because you go anywhere for NASCAR track, you don't want that in the city, noise and all that. But, anyway, yeah, no, that's a good thought. And I mean, if like Jazz Fest moves to Lafayette Park, people would have a meltdown. They'd have a meltdown.
Well, yeah.
It's like going to New Orleans East. It's like,
exactly.
It has nothing to do with race or demographics. It's like, I got to go out there for jazz. I got to go to Jefferson, get off on I-10, and, just
not the same.
Not the same. I think, like you said it, I wish it was bigger, but it'll always be the fairground. You nailed it. I don't even need to say anything. But I will tell people about Lebanon's Cafe because they open up at 11 a.m. every morning and they go till 9:30 every night, 7 days a week. They're open throughout the day. You could go right now. Now, hopefully this weather clears. Under the green awning, under the oak trees on that streetcar line, outdoor dining at Lebanon's is fantastic. But they've got the climate-controlled dining room, of course, and to-go orders like me yesterday for lunch. My weekly to-go order, sometimes bi-weekly. Is bi-weekly every other week or twice a week, Miss Peaches? Wow. Okay. What's twice a week?
Bi-weekly.
What's every other week? No. Every other week would be I go twice a month. I go every other week. 2 times a week would be I go 8 times a month, if we're saying a 4-week month.
Every 2 weeks, usually it's bi-weekly.
Like I get a publication bi-weekly, I would get it every other week, right?
So it would essentially be every 2 weeks.
Right, once every 2 weeks. How do you say 2 times in a week? Oh, boy. It's time to hit the Google. Oh, boy. Let's see. It's a grammar lesson on the neutral ground. Is bi-weekly twice a week or every other week? I think it's every other week, Miss Peaches. Bi-weekly can refer to every other week or twice a week.
That's what I was saying. It's the same.
However, in common usage, it's most commonly understood as every other week. For the meaning twice a week, semi-weekly is often used. Semi-weekly.
But they're the same difference. Bi-weekly and every other week.
Well, they're not the same. I mean, if they're saying they in common, they're saying can refer to every week or twice a week, but you wouldn't know. Hey, I'm sending you that food bi-weekly. Miss Peach is going, cool. I'll get food 2 times a week. No, you're getting it once every 2 weeks. Hey, I'm sending you that you're going to go on that trip, Miss Peaches. Bi-weekly, you get to go to that, your favorite little spa. Is it once every other week or 2 times in a week?
In the corporate world, when I get paid, it's considered bi-weekly, and that's every other week.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2
right,
weeks.
Right, exactly. That's what I think it is. But apparently it's both, but you'd have to disclaim it. The semi-weekly seems confusing too. For the meaning twice a week, semi-weekly is often used. So I guess I go to Lebanon's Cafe semi-weekly. That just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
I guess. How about twice a week is twice a week?
I like
We'll go
that.
bi-weekly with every 2 weeks, and we'll say twice a week, meaning in 1 week.
Which is twice a
3 times this week means 3 times. Oh, boy. Lebanon's Cafe. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Corey Johnson with you. Today's grammar lesson brought to you by Freddy's Speed Shop on Williams and Kenner. Need that Z28 Camaro jacked up in the back? Need a nitrous oxide kit? Freddy's Speed Shop in Kenner has you covered. Freddy's Speed Shop, Williams Boulevard, right near the airport. Corey Johnson with you. Coming right back. I love Freddy's Speed Shop. I got some glass pack mufflers put on, Miss Peaches. The rumbling noise is incredible. I got the car jacked up in the back. I even got the squirter for my windshield. I got a long hose going about black back tires. I put bleach on them and smoke it up. Smoke it up.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
What is this website, Miss Peaches? Something.eu. Twice in a week can be referred to as semi-weekly or fortnightly. Yeah, I use fortnight all the time. That's just common language for me, fortnight.
Fortnightly.
Geesh. Where am I, in Britain? Fortnight. No one uses that in America. That's crazy. Anyway, Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. Boy, a big week. Jazz Fest. What, about 42 hours away? 41 plus hours away. 11 a.m. Thursday. There'll be folks camping out at 9 a.m. 11 a.m. Thursday. Locals Thursday. Get in for $50 in advance with that ticket purchase. $60 at the gate if you're a local. Otherwise, it's like $1.15. It's like $1.15, something like that. $125. Tickets are getting a little expensive for Jazz Fest. Anyway, Jazz Fest is still a bargain. Jazz Fest, weather looking great. No rain in the forecast Thursday through Sunday. Jazz Fest weekend #1 out in Gentilly. Zurich Classic on DeBest Bank Thursday through Sunday, round 1 starting early Thursday morning. Again, no rain in the forecast. NFL Draft Thursday night, round 1. The Saints select 9th overall. Maybe they move back in the draft. Select one of those quarterbacks like around 20th or 25th. Denver reportedly is trying to move up in the draft. They're trying to target somebody. I guess you wait and see. You wait and see. If you've got that 10th pick and 9 teams have picked and like that running back out of Boise State's available, something like that, a special player, you maybe pull the trigger on that. The trash wars continue in the French Quarter. New Orleans City Council President J.P. Morrell says the mayor's chosen sanitation provider does not have a contract to clean the French Quarter. We'll see how this goes. The mayor says IV Waste is done at the end of July, and Troy Henry's company, I don't know who it is. Is it Richard's Disposal? They're coming in August 1st. I mean, that says it all. You know, for or against it, IV Waste, I mean, a company, they're leaving, and then Troy Henry's company, the name we don't know, they're coming in. But J.P. Morrell says, no, they're not. He says that Troy Henry's company does not have a contract to clean the French Quarter. Joe Dumars introduced as the new Pelicans executive vice president. Willie Green was there. So it looks like Willie Green will remain head coach of the Pelicans. Boy, New Orleans is becoming a super cruise city. How many cities can say this? I mean, Miami's probably the number one cruise city in America, but ocean-going cruises, you know, the Gulf, the ocean, the Caribbean. New Orleans has that. We've got, you know, ocean-type cruises going to the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, Cozumel, Belize, whatever. We've got river cruises going north up the Mississippi River, which is pretty impressive. You get on these, you know, luxury boats like Viking, and you go from New Orleans and you stop in Baton Rouge, you stop in Memphis, you go all the way up to like Minneapolis, St. Paul. Lots of things to see up and down the river. Now we've got a third type of cruise coming out of New Orleans. They're going to use the Intracoastal Waterway in the Gulf of Mexico and kind of come out of the river and hop over to like Gulfport, Biloxi, and then Mobile, Alabama, and even like Pascagoula, historic Pascagoula, and then go to Pensacola, and then come back from Pensacola to New Orleans. So you can take, you know, it's like a 6-7 day cruise. You come out of New Orleans, day one, you're like Gulfport, Biloxi. Day two is like Mobile or Pascagoula. Day three is Mobile. Day four is Pensacola, and then you head back. Pretty cool. I've got a pretty simple rule. First off, I've never been on a cruise. And unless it starts with 5 figures, I'm not going on a cruise. Signed, Snobby Corey Johnson. Have a great day, everyone. 10 grand or more, Miss Peaches, or I ain't going. I'm not going on the ones out of New Orleans, the Holiday Inn that floats. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go on some boat with a bunch of people that are into the free booze and the free mediocre food, going to Cozumel, and it's $6.99. I have no desire to be on boat with a few thousand people that paid $700 to be on the boat. Have no desire for that.
Yeah, but they have other higher end boats if you like that. And,
bingo. Mm-hmm. No, I have nothing against the location and going there, but I don't want to go on a cruise. But if I did, I would spend thousands of dollars because I want to go on a high-end, nice cruise. When I go on vacation, I'm not like staying at the Four Seasons or the Ritz, Miss Peaches, but I'm not staying at the Holiday Inn either. You know, I'm going to find some hotel. Man, stay at the Hotel Indigo. I can get you a good rate. Or I live in Brooklyn. It's much cheaper than Manhattan. Stay in Brooklyn, not Manhattan. So I kind of, you know, but I'm not staying at the Days Inn. I'm not staying at the Bed Bug Motel. I'm not staying at any of that crap. If I had the money, I'd be in the Four Seasons or the Ritz, you know, but I don't have that kind of cash. I did have a guy with great connection with the Hilton. And when I'd go to Atlanta, I'd stay at the Four Seasons in Atlanta because Hilton owned it. And my buddy set me up, and it was like I went to high school with, it was $100 a night.
That's beautiful. And
beyond beautiful. The door, Miss Peaches, like, you know, they got the price was $14.99 to $19.99 a night. $1,500 to $2,000 a night for this. It wasn't a suite. It was a room. Now, this is when, you know, someone that really doesn't have the money, like me, is staying there. I went one time and they're like, you know, their little car, and it's like, leave your shoes, your leather shoes out by the door at night, and our overnight guy will grab them and polish them up. So I had a pair of leather shoes. I left them out. The next time I went, I knew I was going for 3 nights. I brought 3 pairs of leather shoes, and I left, not even that I was wearing. I just left them out every night so they would get, And then I'm like, can I get extra chocolates on the bed when it's tucked down time and all this kind of crap? I was taking advantage of all the gimmicks.
Nice.
But I tipped the shoe guy. I found out who he was, and I tipped him. And I remember this was back then. Today, it'd probably be $100. I was freaking out. It was like $35 a day for the valet. And I was so that the valet for the 3 days at like $105 was more than I paid for a room each night. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so no, that, what's great about vacation, Miss P? It's like eating a steak. No one can do better than you eating a steak. Like the rich guy gets a steak, you get a steak. It's like where, you know what I mean? It's like you're living like a king, kind of. That's why I think people like steak. Part of it's like, wow,
yeah,
I'm eating the ultimate. Vacation. I plan like everybody else, but I always go over. And then I just figure I'll bite the bullet for the next 90 days back in New Orleans and, until I get my what straight financially. And it's not like I'm going on vacations like I was going to spend $3,000, so I spent $30,000.
Oh, sure.
But it might be like, I'm going to spend $2,000 on this vacation. I spend $3,500. I'm going to New York. I'm going to spend $3,500. I'm guessing I spent $5,000. So whatever,
Sure.
Spend more, bought some stuff I really didn't need that I liked or whatever. But, no, vacation's like a good way to, kind of live like you're rich or wealthy for a few days.
But the higher end boats, Corey, you might be into because they have like the great restaurants and,
My buddy did an Alaskan cruise. It was like $12,000 a head.
Easily.
Took his family. It was like $50,000. He's loaded.
Yeah.
They had a great time. And I'm like, that's the kind of cruise I want to go on. It's like camping, Miss Peaches. I'm not putting in my own tent. I'm going to one of those air conditioned tents that's set up and you walk in and it's got like a oriental rug on the ground. You're not even on the ground and it's air conditioned or heated and it's got a nice bed. And then there's some dude, I'm not MREing or heating up my, little stove and burner. I'm getting fillets and New York strips and shrimp and crap like that, but it's all relative, Miss Peaches. I don't do it all that often. If I had the moolah, I would, I don't know if you've ever flown on a private plane. I've flown on a private jet a few times. I mean, if I were rich or wealthy, I would never, ever get on a commercial flight for the rest of my life. I don't understand wealthy people that fly, like even first class. I guess maybe their plane won't go that far. But I mean, you pull up in your car, you walk onto the plane, you show the pilot your driver's license, you land, there's a car waiting for you at the other airport, and you drive away. You could bring duffel bags of cocaine and, prostitutes and uranium. It doesn't matter. There's not even any kind of checking on all that. It's insane. And on that trip, we did have cocaine, prostitutes, and uranium, Miss Peaches. Uranium. This hand's numb from holding the uranium bar. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. Yeah, you right. No, it's nice to be rich and wealthy, I would guess. I would guess. But, health is most important, Miss Peaches. I'm rich and very wealthy. Friends and relationships and people and being in the city of New Orleans. I'm the richest person you know. Got so many great family members. None of us fight. Lots of great friends, a bunch of best friends, lots of regular friends, a ton of acquaintances. Love it. Love it. Hey, I'll tell you a place that's fantastic. I'm about to go pick out another pair of prescription glasses, and I'm going to get them out of the basket on the counter. I'm talking about Art and Eyes on Magazine. Google them. If you wear prescription glasses or you need a great pair of sunglasses, Art and Eyes on Magazine. Now, they have this bowl, like a big salad bowl, like 2 feet across, and every day, either Star or her husband, Paul, walk around the store at the end of the day and they'll pick like a frame or two out of the thousands on display and put them in that bowl. And these frames can go anywhere from $300 to like $1,500 just for the frames. And the frames are absolutely free. All you pay for is the prescription lenses, those frames in the bowl, all high quality from all around the world. Google them, Art and Eyes on Magazine. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. You and your husband want to go? Hey, Miss Peaches, you and your husband going to Jazz Fest?
We're trying to figure it out. Yeah.
There you go. I hear you.
I want to go see Dave Matthews.
There you go. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of great stuff.
It's a good list this year. I'm excited.
Yep. That's Miss Peaches. her and her husband, you might see them at Jazz Fest. They'll meet you by the flagpole.
Yes.
Just be by the flagpole. That it's a trip like the flagpole. It's like you can say meet someone there at 1 o'clock. You're both there. You're texting each other. I'm there. You can't even find them. It's like, yeah, there are 400 people at the flagpole.
That's all.
400 people. Top of an hour, bottom of an hour. Go to the flagpole and watch how many people flock to it. Like, 158. Because they're meeting their friends there at 2 p.m. at the flagpole. It's a trip.
What cracks me up is you'll have a walkway to where you are in the first half of your day, but by like the second half of your day, there aren't any walkways. Like it's just one crowd.
I'm crawling by the end of the day.
You see the pole, but you just don't know how you're quite getting to it.
No, exactly. Hey, if you're beelining north on the causeway, fire in a to-go order at Trey Inn. Curbside delivery. They literally walk it right out to your car. Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. So damn good. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. Make everybody at your house happy. A big to-go order from Trey Inn in Mandeville. A lot going on. The trash wars continue. New Orleans City Council President J.P. Morrell says Mayor LaToya Cantrell's chosen sanitation provider, Troy Henry, and his subcontractor do not have a contract to clean the French Quarter. Do not have a contract. Ivy Waste has a contract through December. I mean, the smart thing to do, the non-political smart thing to do that benefits the city most, the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few, is let Troy Henry, Ivy Waste, Richards, whoever, Ramelli, whoever wants to come in, outside people, Trash Source, Source One, whatever the hell they're called, let them all bid for it in the fall, right when the Saints start kicking things off, September, October. Right now, it's real easy. You got Troy Henry's company. They legitimately won the bid to pick up trash. And then almost immediately, because Troy Henry's not a trash hauler, he's just an individual like you or me, his deal requires subbing out the work to a trash hauler. Happens to be Richards' disposal. Richards didn't even want to bid on the French Quarter contract. They're like, we're not interested in picking up trash in the quarter. Troy Henry wins it. Richards is going to pick up the trash. Almost immediately, Troy Henry and Richards have a feud, a fight. Richards claims Troy Henry owes him money. Troy Henry claims Richards isn't going to clean up what they're supposed to. They sue each other. The city council all of a sudden is like, what the hell, We're signing a contract, about to sign a contract, or have agreed with a trash hauler, and he's subbing it out to someone that they're suing each other. So we're in a precarious spot. It's like October, November. We got Bayou Classic, the Sugar Bowl, Super Bowl coming up. Can't have dirty French Quarter. So then Troy Henry gets, One Source or something? And they're a company that's like Troy Henry. They sub it out. They don't have any trucks. So Troy Henry's going to sub it out to like One Source or whatever is something source. And they have to sub it out to a trash company. So the council's like, the hell with this. You obviously can't provide the services that you said you were going to. So they broke the contract. And then they're like, we need an emergency contract now. Because, what's hitting the fan. We're up against the wall. So Ivy Waste, Sidney Torres comes in and agrees to a 1-year deal, December of last year through December of this year. Troy Henry, all of a sudden, hey, I got my what together with Richards. We're on the same page now. I want the contract. The council's like, you'll have to wait. Ivy Waste is doing it through December. Troy Henry gets in touch with the mayor, apparently, the Oliver Thomas connection. The mayor says in 90 days, July 31st, this Ivy Waste contract will be terminated. And Troy Henry, whatever the name is, trash company, they will take over. An 8-year deal worth $73 million. Now, the smart thing to do is let Ivy Waste, for the citizens of New Orleans and the French Quarter especially, the smart thing to do, what a civic-minded politician would do, and no offense to Troy Henry, but he didn't have his you-know-what together when it mattered. That's what you deal with when you're not going directly to a trash company. You're dealing with someone who's going to sub it out. So you got Ivy Waste through till December. This fall, you have everybody rebid on the 8-year contract. But at the Ivy Waste cleaning levels, the pressure washing the sidewalk, not twice a week, 7 days a week, cleaning trash cans, doing everything that Ivy Waste is doing. The lemon fresh scent, the amount of work they're doing in the quarter in CBD. You rewrite the contract to that level of service. And then you rebid it in the fall. Maybe Troy Henry's company wins. Maybe Ivy Waste company wins. Maybe Ivy Waste doesn't want to do it anymore. Maybe Ramelli wins, whatever. But that's what's best for the citizens. Because right now, Ivy Waste comes in, like Sidney Torres or not, they're doing a really good job. That's sort of universally accepted. But that's just gravy and lagniappe. That's extra. Troy Henry had the contract. He won it. But he didn't have his you-know-what together, where his sub and him are suing each other. The city had no choice but to, get their you-know-what together and get this contract done, an emergency deal. So that deal runs through December. Let it roll out and then rebid it at the higher level of cleaning. Troy Henry says, I'm going to do it at the level of Ivy Waste. But if things get tough or tight and it's 2-3 years down the road, maybe he won't, because his contract doesn't call for him to do the extra work. Ivy Waste till December, rebid it all in the fall. Someone else, Ivy Waste, Troy Henry, whatever, they can get the contract for the next 8 years. But the mayor wants Troy Henry in July, and that way he secures the 8-year, $73 million original deal that doesn't have the level of cleaning under contract that Ivy Waste is delivering as lagniappe is gravy. The trash wars continue. See you mañana, 4 o'clock, wide open Wednesday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.